But what I'm talking about, like, is a depth of earnestness of what do I actually care about and why do I care about it? And how do I reflect on what I believe to be both true and meaningful right now? And what is right action factoring what I understand to be true and what I understand to be meaningful? And how certain am I on what I think is true? And how biased am I on what I think is meaningful? And can I refine those as well?
It surprises me that we're even able to get out of bed in the morning. You know? Like, should I? Well, I mean, is this... Maybe. I don't know. I mean, do I take the covers off with my left hand? Do I take the covers off with my right hand? But this is the job of the ego, right? And this is part of, I suppose, the usefulness of the fact that we are still in some part primitive creatures, that it allows us to have sufficient momentum to overcome the inertia that a constant rolling existential crisis would stop us from being able to do.
The rolling existential crisis, which I grew up with, mostly comes... Joseph Campbell had some nice quote, something about that... I'm getting the quote wrong, but paraphrasing, that people wonder about the purpose of life when they aren't engaged in the experience of feeling alive.
I love that.
And this is that prima facie thing that we were talking about. In moments of full engagement with reality, right? Whether it's fascination learning something or awe at the beauty of something or whatever it is typically not when people are in existential angst, wondering what's meaningful or not, because it's present. It is indwelling within the experience, right? The meaningfulness is immanent. Now, if I'm disconnected from feeling the meaningfulness of life, no thought will replace that feeling. And so then, separate, I can say, well, what's the purpose of life? Well, it's to learn. Well, what's the fucking purpose of learning? Well, because you grow. What's the purpose of that? Well, then you can do more. What's the purpose and there's no end to that, right? There's no terminal value that you get to where you don't say, why that? And it's because what we're trying, it's actually just a ridiculous question. It's saying, what part of reality is why all of it? Right? That's the question. If I'm trying to say the purpose of reality is it's love or it's growth or it's awakening or whatever it is, I'm trying to take some little simple part I can conceptualize and make that the ordinating basis of everything, which is just actually silly, right? You'll notice that purpose is a utilitarian concept. The purpose of X is Y. The purpose of my job is I do this function at the business. Well, if I do the marketing at the business or the accounting or the whatever it is. Well, if I assume the business existing matters, then it makes sense why me doing that thing matters. But it's utilitarian, right? Assuming the value of Y, then I can say X relative to it. But purpose is always extrinsic, relational, utilitarian. So if I say, what is the purpose of all of reality? What is there outside of reality to ground that in reference to? So it's just actually an ill-formed question because purpose is a smaller concept than reality is. So yes, reality doesn't have a purpose in the sense that anything within reality does, but it's also not purposeless in the way that we think of purposelessness of things inside of reality. It's that the concept is too small to apply.